One beak of mud. There was something strange about Old Swallow. Sue had noticed it for 3 days now. Every morning before the sun came up, he was already gone. No sound, no word, just an empty space where he had been. And every evening, he came back the same way. Quiet, mud on his beak, eyes looking at nothing in particular. Sue watched him press the mud into his nest. She watched him smooth it carefully with the side of his face. Then he turned around and flew back down into the dark. Sue looked at his nest. It was already big, already strong, already finished as far as she could see. So why was he still adding to it? She did not understand. But spring had come, and she had her own work to do. This was her first spring alone. No mother beside her, no warm wing at night, just the old Eve, the open sky, and the river below. She looked down at the water. It moved slowly in the early light, cold and gray and patient. She took a breath and flew down. The mud was cold. It was heavier than she expected. It tasted like earth and rain mixed together. She pressed it into the wooden beam above her. It stuck, just a little, just a small dark mark on the old wood. She stepped back and looked at it. That was all? One trip? One small mark? She looked at Old Swallow's nest, wide and deep and curved at the edges, like something that had always been there. She looked back at her mark on the wood. Then she flew back down. On the 10th day, she stopped in the middle of the river. She hovered there above the water and looked up at the 2 Eves. His nest, her nest. There was no comparison. She flew back up slowly and pressed her mud into place. She did not feel good about it. That evening she sat at the edge of the eave and watched Old Swallow return. Mud on his beak, same as always. He pressed it into his nest, smoothed it, turned around, flew back down. Sue stared at his nest for a long time. It was already finished. Anyone could see that. So what was he doing? What did he know that she did not? On the 15th day, she asked him. She waited until he landed, until the mud was pressed, until he was still. Then she spoke. "Your nest is already finished," she said. Old Swallow said nothing. "So why do you keep going back?" He looked at the river for a moment. Then he said very quietly, "Is it?" That was all. He turned and flew back down. Sue looked at his nest again. She had been so sure it was finished. Now she was not sure at all. She stayed there a long time looking at it, trying to see what he saw, but she could not yet. The days passed, one by one. Sue flew down to the river each morning. She brought her mud back up. She pressed it in. She flew back down. Some mornings the mud was soft and easy. Some mornings it was stiff and cold. She brought it anyway. On the 22nd day, something shifted. She did not notice it right away, but when she pressed the mud into place, her beak did not hesitate. It knew where to go. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. She stopped for a moment. When had that happened? She did not know. She could not point to a single day. It had just become, quietly, without asking permission. She flew back down and tried to remember the first day, her beak pushing too hard, the mud falling off before it dried. That swallow felt far away now, like someone she used to know. On the 28th day, Sue flew down to the river as usual. She landed at the edge of the water. The mud was right there, soft and dark and ready. But she did not push her beak in. She just stood there. The river moved in front of her. It had no beginning she could see. It had no end she could see. It simply moved. She watched a small leaf fall from a branch above. It touched the water. The river took it. The river did not stop. The river did not ask. It simply continued. Sue stood there for a long time. She was not tired. She was not afraid. She was something else, something without a name. She looked at her own reflection in the water, the same wings, the same eyes, but something had changed behind them. She was not sure when. She was not sure how. She just knew. She was not the same swallow who had first come down to this river. That one had been looking for a result. This one was just here, at the river, in the morning, ready. She pushed her beak into the mud and flew back up. Then the wind came. It came at night, without warning, cold and sharp from the direction of the river. Sue pressed herself into the wood and held on. The eaves shook. The darkness was loud. She could not sleep. She listened to the wind pull at everything it could find. When morning came, the sky was pale and silent. Sue opened her eyes and saw it. One side of her nest was gone. Not all of it, but the part she had built over 4 careful days. Now it was below her on the stone path, small, dry pieces of nothing. She looked at them for a long time. All those trips, all that mud, all those mornings, and now just dust on the ground. Old Swallow came out of his nest. He looked at the broken place. He looked at her. Then he said, "Go get more mud." Sue felt something rise inside her, hot and sharp. "That is your answer?" she said. "Every time that is your answer?" He did not turn around. "It is the only answer," he said, and he flew down to the river. Sue did not follow him. She sat and looked at the broken place. She thought about the mud on the stone path below. 4 days of work, gone in one night. What was the point? She thought about leaving, just for today, just to go somewhere quiet. She folded her wings. She closed her eyes. The river moved below her, soft, steady, without stopping, like it always did. Like it did not know about broken nests, like it did not know about tired swallows. It just moved. It just continued. She thought about the leaf she had watched fall into the water. The river had taken it without stopping, without asking. She opened her eyes. Old Swallow was coming back up from the river, mud in his beak. He did not look at her. He pressed the mud into his nest. Then he stopped. He stood very still, and for the first time, Sue saw what he was doing. He was not adding to his nest. He was filling a crack, a small dark line she had never noticed before. The wind had made it, last night. He pressed the mud in carefully, smoothed it, stepped back, looked at it. Then he turned around and flew back down. No words, no explanation, just the work, just the return. Sue looked at his nest for a long time. All these days she had thought it was finished. All these days he had known it was not. The wind always found a new place, and he always came back. Not because the nest needed to be perfect, because coming back was who he was. It had become his nature, as natural as the river moving, as natural as the season turning. She thought about the 28 days behind her. She thought about her beak that now knew where to press. She thought about the swallow she had seen in the river's reflection, and she understood something she could not have understood on the first day. The mud was not the point. The trips were not the point. She was the point. Each trip had built something in the nest, but each trip had also built something in her, and that something could not fall in any wind. She stood up. She looked at the river. Then she opened her wings and flew down. The mud was cold again, heavy again. She brought it back up. She pressed it into the broken place. Her beak knew exactly what to do. Down and up, down and up. And somewhere inside that rhythm, the heat inside her cooled. Not because she stopped feeling it, because she had somewhere to put it. She went back down for more mud. The days passed. She did not count them anymore. She did not look at other nests. Down and up. Some days were good. Some days a piece would fall, and she would go back down. Not because she was not tired. She was tired. Not because she was not afraid. She was afraid. But she had become someone who went back down. That was who she was now. That was enough. One morning, Sue woke before sunrise. The sky was still dark at the edges. She looked at her nest without thinking, and then she saw it, really saw it. Not a thin line on the wood, not almost nothing. A nest, deep and curved and strong. She reached out and touched the edge. The mud was hard and smooth. She pressed a little harder. It did not move. She thought about the first day, that small dark mark on the wood. She tried to find it inside the nest. She could not. It was not gone. It was everywhere. There was no first piece. There was no last piece. It was made of days. There was only this. There was only home. She sat inside it. It held her. She did not move for a long time. 3 eggs came, small and pale and perfect. Sue sat above them, warm and quiet. She did not think about mud. She did not think about trips. She just sat there, above everything she had carried up from the river. Old Swallow flew past one afternoon. He looked at the nest. He looked at the eggs. He looked at Sue. Then he said, very simply, "Now you know." Sue did not ask what she knew. She already knew. She knew what the mud was. She knew what the trips were. She knew why Old Swallow still went down every morning. Not because the nest needed it, because he was someone who went down every morning. That was not habit. That was not discipline. That was who he had become. Over thousands of mornings, one beak of mud at a time. Summer passed. The eggs opened. 3 small voices filled the morning. Sue watched her children grow, strong and curious and full of questions. One morning, the youngest looked up at her. "Why do you go down every morning?" he asked. Sue looked at him for a moment. She thought about the first day. She thought about the broken nest. She thought about standing at the river and not knowing why she stayed. Then she smiled. "Same place," she said, "same thing, like every spring." Her son tilted his head. He did not understand. Sue looked at him gently. "You will," she said. And she knew he would, because one spring he would fly back to his own river, to his own Eve, and his beak would push into the cold mud, and he would begin, just like she had, just like Old Swallow had, just like all the swallows before them, back and back and back into a morning no one could remember. Autumn came. The young ones left, one by one into the wide sky. Sue watched them go. She felt the nest grow quiet. She sat there alone. The river moved below. Same sound, always the same sound. Winter came. Sue flew south. She rested. She waited. And then spring came again. Quietly, like it always did. Sue opened her eyes. Her wings already knew where to go. She flew back. Same Eve, same river. She landed and looked at her nest. Still there, still strong. She touched the edge once. Then she looked down at the river. Old Swallow was already there, already moving, mud on his beak, same as always. Sue watched him come back up. He pressed the mud in. He smoothed it. He turned. He saw her. He said nothing. He just flew back down. Sue looked at the river one more time. Then she opened her wings and flew down. One beak of mud, like before, like always. No one was counting. You will not see it happening. 1 day feels like nothing. 10 days feel like nothing. But something is being built, quietly, without asking your permission. Not just in the nest, in you. And one morning you will wake up, touch the edge of what you have made, and it will hold you. It was made of days, your days, all of them, even the ones that fell, even the ones no one counted. The river remembered. It always does, and so will you. You are not behind. You are not too slow. You are building right now, one small trip at a time, just like Sue, just like Old Swallow, just like every swallow before them. Go back down tomorrow morning. That is enough. That is everything. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep going and keep growing.